Hey everyone, it's Corey with Reel Filmmaking, and today we're talking about a cool little microphone, and that is the Fifine K688 dynamic podcast microphone. Now, straight off the bat, I just want to be real with y'all. Fifine did send this product out to me, but they didn't pay me any money. They didn't get to see this video before I made it, and everything that you're going to hear, they're my honest opinions after really putting this microphone through its paces for the last couple months. So the Fifine K688 microphone, say that 3 times fast, but it's a cool little microphone. And like when Fifine reached out to me, the biggest thing that caught my attention about this microphone is the fact that it is a USB-C, but also a XLR compatible microphone. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but that is a huge plus for this microphone because that means it's a microphone that can grow with you. Straight off the bat, you know, you came to a microphone review, you want to hear about the audio, how is the audio quality, and as you can tell, like I'm using the microphone right now, it's great. I have a little bit of audio production background, so I like to do a little stuff like EQ, you know, some compression, some basic stuff to make my sound a little like how I want to sound. But, you know, here's how it sounds with all those effects on. Now you get to hear it a little bit with those sounds taken off, just the dry signal, and even the dry audio out of this microphone. I'm very impressed by the quality of it. I've used a lot of expensive microphones, I've used a lot of cheap microphones, and I feel like the K688 kind of sits in the middle of that. And especially in these budget microphones, you can run into issues of the highs being really tinny and trashy and hard to listen to, and having really muffled lows. I think overall, it's got really good audio quality for the price point of this microphone. So what do you get with the microphone? First, it comes in this really nicely packaged box, which I love the aesthetic of it, the red and the black. It looks pretty cool, but you open it up and it's packaged in here very nicely. And of course, you get the microphone itself, which, you know, again, I really like the look of it. You get a USB-C cable for hooking the mic up to your computer, which is actually a decent size. You get a screw thread adapter. You get an Allen wrench in here. All in all, like a nice little package of stuff that comes with it. The next thing is the build quality of this microphone. Like, I really like the aesthetic of how it looks. You know, it's very much reminiscent of, you know, the industry standard microphone in this kind of podcast audio production space, and that, you know, is the Shure SM7B. It very much has that aesthetic to it, that clean matte black look with, you know, the gray windscreen, which honestly I'm a big fan of. I think the microphone looks pretty good, and I think just like at a quick glance you wouldn't necessarily know that this isn't an SM7B. So like kudos to Fifine for finding a design that works and just like, you know, emulating the best, right? But yeah, this microphone looks good. The build quality on it is pretty solid. Again, like I've used really expensive microphones that have high, really solid build quality. And then I've used microphones like on the cheap end that feel like they're just gonna break apart in my hand. And again, this kind of fits in the middle. I don't have a fear like if I dropped it, this would like shatter into a million pieces. It's solid, you know, like I've been kicking it around for the last couple months and, you know, haven't been like too harsh on it, but it's held up really well. So like I mentioned earlier in this video, I think the biggest selling point for me about this microphone is the fact that it is USB-C and it is XLR compatible. And the reason why this is such a big deal is because it means the microphone is very versatile. I think USB-C microphones for a long time have been really cool, but they're very niche. Like they fit a couple scenarios really well. They like really excel at them. But in other spaces of video and audio production, they tend to fall apart. I love microphones like this that have XLR and USB-C because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You can get the quick running gun kind of adaptability of USB-C, you know, plug it into your computer, plug it into your phone, and you can get way better audio than you would just like, you know, recording with your phone app. But because you have the XLR compatibility with this microphone, as you start to grow, maybe as you want to scale up some of your audio, your video production, and you get something like an audio interface, you can plug this mic into it and take advantage of, you know, the audio interface, the better preamps, and you can get really good audio quality out of this microphone. And like, you know, I was talking earlier about the audio quality. I definitely will say using the XLR side of this microphone in tandem with an audio interface is going to give you the best results. I feel like the USB-C signal of this tends to run a little bit low, and so then you really have to kick up in post, you know, the signal, which in turn raises the noise floor and all that. So using this microphone with a preamp from an audio interface is really going to give you the most optimal audio from this microphone. Another cool feature about the microphone is if you are using the microphone in the USB-C mode, you can actually plug in a pair of headphones and monitor your own audio from the microphone, which is pretty sweet. You have tactile knobs for the volume of your headphones as well as the actual gain of the microphone. So I think we're kind of wrapping it up on the Fifine K688 microphone. There's not a ton else to say. I mean, like, if you really want to get into the specs of things, like, the pickup pattern and all that stuff about the microphone, you can go read that. But just in a practical use, I think this is a great microphone, especially for the price. It is a great budget microphone. It's very versatile. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I've really put this microphone through its paces. I have used it for the last couple months in a variety of things. If you've seen my last couple YouTube videos, I've changed my setup. I've used this microphone extensively in those videos. I've used this microphone for things like Zoom calls and client calls for video stuff for work. I podcast regularly with some of my friends. I've used it there. And again, nobody has said anything of man, why does your audio sound weird or worse than it used to sound? I normally use a regular just studio condenser microphone. And, I think that is a huge credit to this microphone. With a little bit of tweaking audio and compression and stuff, you can get a really good sounding signal out of this microphone. So I honestly think from a price to value standpoint, you're getting so much with this microphone, it's really hard for me to not recommend it. Paying 70 to 80 bucks for a microphone with this type of audio quality and this much versatility, I honestly think is worth it. So if you're looking for something for your YouTube setup, you want to run a setup like this, you're trying to start a new podcast, you just want to up the quality of things, I can't recommend this microphone enough. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Reel Filmmaking for more content coming about, gear, camera gear like this, the EOS M, Magic Lantern, filmmaking, all that goodness. And until next time, keep making movies and watching movies. And I'll see you on Reel Filmmaking.